It's the unboxing show where we unbox.
Unboxing.
That's called verisimilitude, I think. We're going to open our packages, read some letters, and thank our generous donors who have gone to welcometothebasementshow.com and donated to support our show. We created this show just for them. Let's find out who those donors are, shall we?
We shall.
I'm going to put on my glasses and read them. Laura, David, J. Paul, Aaron, Isabel, Cody, Lindsay, Eric, David, Patrick, Dan, Abraham, Elizabeth, Isaac, Thomas, Brian, Stephanie Kempson, Kyle, Sierra, Maurizio, and Daniel, who says, all of your channels deserve more views. Greetings from Sweden.
Tell your friends.
Tack, I believe it's tack. Thank you in Swedish?
Tack så mycket is thank you very much.
Tack så mycket.
I'm going to put in that Tona told you that.
Tona told me that.
You're not going to fool anybody. Thinking, so make it.
Jag var en utbytesstudent student in Sverige.
Oh, Tona's busting out the Swedish talk. And now it is time for viewer questions. I have one right here. This is not a question. This is more of a comment about a movie that we've talked about on Seen It recently. Alexander Forbes. At the risk of sounding like a cliche, I loved The Lobster until I didn't. Once he leaves the hotel, it went downhill for me pretty steeply. I think if the movie was all the hotel or half as much woods, then I would have liked it a lot more. Alexander, I kind of agree with you. The woods part did seem to go on a bit long and was less compelling than the hotel. Though a completely necessary part of the story, the woods people are a loaded gun introduced in the beginning of the movie that needs to eventually get fired. But I wish that woods section was a little shorter.
Olivia Dahl asks, are there any films you would recommend seeing with a group? I recommend the movie Stop Making Sense. Tona and I and my wife went to see it on the big screen.
I wanted to go, but I couldn't. I had a prior commitment.
It was nothing but a big party. The nice thing about a concert film is that you can talk over it on occasion and people don't mind.
Do you remember way back in season 1, during our first Halloween episode where we dressed up in costume, I dressed up like Fitzcarraldo and I had a white suit and I was a bit tubbier back then. Well, I still have that white suit and I'm happy to say that Tona was able to wear that big white jacket to the Talking Heads movie and she was the star of the room.
Imagine that, but with a huge white jacket on.
And Keel Combs asks, Matt, is that chain you are wearing one of those male symbol necklaces from the 70s? Please say yes. I'm sorry, I don't know what that is, and it's not. This is a chain that was made for me by the multi-talented Tona. She hammered it out of raw metal. Check it out there. It's a custom-made chain. You can go to Tona's website and see what else she's designed.
And if you want to, you can buy it yourself. It's magic of commerce.
Crime, suicide, prostitution. That should have been our 3-part theme for this month.
Next September.
There's so much reading here. Watching this movie qualifies you to receive a GED. Why is it that in old movies, every cop is at least 50? Like, there are no young cops.
No. There are at least 30. People just looked a lot older back then.
Okay.
You haven't been giving me dope.
I would never do that. Sweetheart, dope is for dopes. Drugs are for dummies.
Well, better give her a day or two off to get used to the idea, huh?
Who would fall in love with this frog-faced loser? He looks like he's from Innsmouth.
Over there, that Shirley Clare, the famous actress.
We've all heard of her, and we all know her work. And here's another musical number.
When I hear songs like this in a movie, I expect it to cut away to like some gangland murder.
Sure. And now, inexplicably, a third full-length musical number in this cocaine movie. Because we had to pad this out to an anorexic 60 minutes. Of all the movies we've watched, I think this one will be the one that renders our little couch synopsis the most irrelevant. Venus de Kilo. Like a kilo of cocaine.
Oh.
Come on, let's take a crack at it.
Crack? Boy, they're advancing fast.
Yeah.
I get the feeling at the end of this movie we're going to get a stern lecture. Look at the postcards we got.
I love postcards.
2 from Julian and Mike, who are on vacation. They're in Key West, Florida.
Oh, lucky them.
There we go. And then we've got one other one from them where they're battling the Tarpons.
Tarpons. Looks like they're...
There it went. Fast as a tarpon.
Magic.
This is from our buddy Andrew, who's at the beach this week.
Everyone's at the beach except for us.
Yeah, for real, man. This is Nick C. from Roswell, New Mexico, and he wants to know if we've seen Stranger Things.
I'm exactly halfway through with it. By the time this airs, I can say, yes, I have seen all Stranger Things.
It seems like everybody loves Stranger Things, except me.
He likes normal, boring things.
I watched like 4 episodes of this. I was into it at first, and then it just kind of lost me. I just lost interest. It felt like a chore to watch it. Tona loved it. And I eventually had to tell her, you're just going to have to watch it on your own, because I just...
Go on without me.
Yeah, I'm not interested, and I'm sorry to say it.
That's a strange thing in relationships when you're watching a TV show.
Is it a Stranger Thing?
Yes, it is. Oh, you're waiting for me to continue watching the show? No, I'm sorry. I lost interest a long time ago.
That happens.
You just tell me if anything important happens at Downton Abbey.
I was into Downton Abbey for like 5 seasons.
Were you?
That happens with shows. It just drops off. I think we watched 6 seasons of Sons of Anarchy, and then and was really into it, and at the end of the 6th one, we were just like, I don't need to watch this anymore.
Yeah.
I am done with The Walking Dead.
I was done after the first season.
I'm not going to go there anymore. It's too stressful, and at the same time, I don't care about any of the characters. How do they do that?
All right, there we go.
See, and lastly, we've got Henrik from Sweden, who is currently in Italy working. Sounds like a pretty good job, Henrik.
Yeah, and a pretty good life. Sweden and Italy. We also have this thing.
San Marcos, California.
Yeah.
Vincent.
We got postcards. Oh, we got people hanging around in Arabic portions of the world. We got a church. This is... Whoa, we got a guy being shot by a bunch of arrows. It's probably St. Sebastian.
And now, the Zatoichi Report. My quest to watch all 25 Zatoichi sequels in 2016 continues.
What number are we on this week?
Number 18, the last one I watched, took a lot out of me. And it was really feeling like a chore to watch these movies, and I didn't know that I was going to make it. I watched number 19, and I was delighted. That is Samaritan Zatoichi.
Ooh, I didn't know he was from Samaria, the region of Israel.
It could be that this one is so good because it is directed by Kenji Misumi, who directed the first one and then several other of the good ones of the series. Ichi has to protect a woman from these guys who want to turn her into a prostitute. He demonstrates almost superhuman abilities in this. It kind of pushes it a little far. He flawlessly throws balls in a ball-throwing game. He can't miss. And he defeats his enemies while wrapped up in a reed rug. I've got a little bit of posy here that was inspired by the Vincente Minnelli film Lust for Life, a biopic of Vincent van Gogh. This is called The Human Spark. Heart full of storms, head full of guttering fires, hands full of wind, a brush that won't stop whirling, a place where a man can ruin himself with madness and joy. Deep inside the ground is the dirt where men live. Up in the sunlight is where the angels spin. God calls through the colors. Run after me, and don't stop. Why can't life be easy? Why do the 10,000 moments of the day grind like slate, and not pass like the breeze of a spring day? Why does love hurt so badly? The sun sinks. The day's watercolors fade to charcoal, and before sleep, 1,000 whispers into the dark. Ever, never, ever, never, ever, never. Never anything, ever everything. The torture of the flesh is nothing. The torture of the mind, the torture of eyes and voices, the torture of God and the endless colors, is nothing compared to ever and never.
I can see the colors, man.
Packages!
Packages?
Opening up this package.
I have a package right here. From Paul of Wilmington, Delaware. I found a postcard from Delaware. Oh, it's CDs. The Austerity Project. Tartar Lamb with 60 metronymies.
Paul writes on his postcard that he wanted to send us some CDs, and he wants us to give his fiancée, Carrie, a shout-out. Hey, Carrie, how you doing?
Hey, Carrie, looking great.
We're going to have fun listening to this new music. It's music?
Of course it's music.
Oh, okay. And I'm going to open up this record. I know what it is. Hey, I know what this is. I know what it is. This is from Thomas Alva Epley, and he writes, maybe Mike Love, the least gracious man in rock and roll, was right. Maybe the 60s weren't right for Van Dyke Parks brand of whimsy, but maybe you guys are.
I have not listened to that.
Song Cycle. The last time I went to a used CD store and bought used CDs, I bought this on CD. But I'm much more excited to have it on vinyl.
Well, good call, TA.
Teacher's assistant, Epley. I bet he's been called that before, and he's like, ugh, again. Unboxing is now completed, and so our show must come to a close. You can see the new episode of Welcome to the Basement that's coming up this coming Friday, and we will see you then.
No letters for me today, Jim?
I'm sorry, Miss Bradford, not today.
I'm sorry, Miss Bradford, but I seem to be melting. Well, good day.
Just bring us some beer.
These cops are the beer fiends.
Boy, ain't she a hummy?
A hummy?
You notice how flustered she was?
How hot mustard she was?
I don't believe those men were highwaymen.
They could have been footpads or blackguards.
You're a cinch in the city.
You're a cinch in the city.
Say, I know a fella that can put you in a show right away.
It's called Frumpy Gals of 1935.